is my baby moving? This is extremely important. At different stages in your pregnancy, how your baby moves can differ, but they should always be moving. So if it's your first baby, you might not feel flutters of movements, or or maybe butterflies, you could call it, until you're about anywhere between 16 to 20 weeks. If it's not your first baby, because the uterus is slightly more stretched, you probably looked pregnant a lot sooner this time round than last time, then you might feel movement a bit before. Do not compare each pregnancy with the last, because every pregnancy is different and unique. And I always think that's really important. But whatever you've learned or wish you knew from that last pregnancy, take it into this pregnancy. That's always a vital, experienced information. So my point about this video is, I know a lot of women or family members of pregnant women buy devices so that they can hear their baby's heart because it reassures them and things like that. I'm very much against this. You are not trained to be using it. And also, it just gives you a little snapshot of your baby's heartbeat for about 30 seconds or a minute, or however long you're listening to it for. But that's irrelevant at this stage. If you are concerned in any which way about your baby, you need to contact your maternity team so that we can investigate it for you. That's super important. It's not about counting either. Like there's a lot of women who say, oh no, my baby kicked 10 or 20 times and it was 5 kicks less than last time. Don't get hung up on numbers. The main thing is trust yourself. I always say, trust your intuition and what you're feeling. Whenever I'm looking after a woman, I base it on the clinical picture, so what the machines are telling me and things like that, but also what you are telling me. So these things come together. So if you feel concerned in any way about your baby, you're better off letting us know so that we can investigate it further for you and do more extensive tests. You are not really reassuring yourself when you use these devices to hear your baby. You do not really understand what that means, and I don't mean to offend in any way, but you are better off just, if something doesn't feel right, let us know. Kicks and movements of your baby is what matters. They will tend to have a little bit of a pattern. So sometimes I'll get women say to me, oh, you know, my baby moves a lot more in the mornings or a lot more in the afternoons, or I've noticed more in the evening. And it's when those patterns change that baby did move this morning, but it just wasn't like the baby normally does. If you had one of those handheld devices and listened in and thought, oh yeah, I can hear the baby's heart, it's fine, that can be very dangerous. There may be a reason why those movements have changed. So you need to let us know. Please, 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 if the movements of your baby have changed in any way and something is telling you it's not right. And the fact that you call, I had a lady who called and said that she was worried about movements, but she didn't know if it was worth coming into the hospital. And I said, absolutely, for the fact that you called means you are worried. So let us alleviate that worry for you. Please come in. It is scary, I know, but it's super important. The other thing I will say is that if you do come in and it's taken us a little while to find the baby's heartbeat, genuinely it can, especially if the gestational age is quite low. Sometimes, or positional of the baby, it might take us a few moments. And I know that's really scary. Trust me, it's scary for us too, but we'll give it time and we'll assess the situation and then hopefully reassure you. And then if we're able, then we will listen to the baby for a very long period of time, or you may get a scan. It's different in different hospitals, but the key thing is that you attend, that you call and tell us you're concerned, and then you attend.